Good morning. This is Scott from Scott Shop Media, and this is what is happening on the mountain today, Monday, October 19th. And not quite sure why my camera's not working. You're not missing much. Brief overview of what we got going on today. There is a lot of Caltrans activity going on, a lot of lane closures, a lot of maintenance work going on to make our highways safe and getting ready for the winter. Uh, and as a reminder, starting tomorrow and all day Wednesday, there will be a hard closure of State Route 330 from the top to the bottom for construction activities. Gradual cooling trend. That does not look right. Gradual cooling, cooler trend. Cooling trend starts tomorrow. Um, and with probably slightly below average temperature, no hazardous weather forecasted. So that will help reduce some of our fire danger, especially as we approach this weekend. Until then, we are still at an elevated fire risk for both new fire starts and fire progression, but for the first time in a long time, we'll see some reduced fire danger starting this weekend. And I'm not quite sure how long that'll last. Probably we will see some fluctuations in this until we get some uh, rain or snow on the ground. The Eldorado Fire has not been updated for almost a week now, so we're still holding at 22,744 acres and 95% containment. And from time to time, we should see some smoke coming up from that fire as it finds new pockets or islands to burn within the containment area. There were 8 crimes reported on the mountain over the weekend. Currently, there's only one Edison power outage reported, and not sure if that'll increase. It was a little early for some of the work to start, uh, and the customers in the Forest Falls area, there's 612 still without power, as Edison crews work to improve that or repair those damaged power lines from the fire. And just 2 new COVID cases reported on the mountain, both in the Big Bear area over the weekend. So that's all that I have. If you'd like to stick around, I'm going to go into greater details in each of these topics, starting with our traffic. A lot of construction going on. Be careful, pay attention, slow for the cone zone. But we have over in the Big Bear area on State Route 18, we have some construction or utility work going on till 3 o'clock this afternoon over here on 38. Pretty much all week, last week, week before, due to the fire, there's some ongoing emergency work that needs to be done to repair some of the highway guardrails, signs, things like that. Over here on 138, Miller Canyon area, tree work. Also on the 173, there's some tree work going on. And in Lake Gregory on the 189, doesn't look like it started yet. There's some guardrail work going on. And then down here on the bottom of the 330 every night, you could potentially lose a lane, lose a transition lane between the 330 and the 210 for some overnight work. And then as a reminder, all of 330 will be closed tomorrow and Wednesday from, I believe, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days. As they do some construction work on the highway that requires it to be completely closed. So make alternate plans. Weather's going to look great this week. No rain, unfortunately, but after tomorrow we start seeing a gradual cooling trend, and to return us to about average or slightly below average temperatures for this time of year. And then by the weekend, we should actually see a reduction in our fire hazards because of the cooler temperatures and higher humidities. There's no hazardous weather forecasted, no high winds, winds about average for this time of year in the area. We are for the rest of this week, we are at a elevated, moderate risk of new fire start or fire spread. But by this weekend, this is Sunday's map. For the first time in a long time, we'll see the mountain being in low risk and then the valley being at little to no risk. Still have an elevated risk up in the desert, but again, there's not a whole heck of a lot of vegetation up there to burn. So this is certainly great news, especially October being historically the worst wildfire month for the San Bernardino Mountains. We are still under extreme fire danger. We actually need a lot of precipitation, a lot of snow or rain to change this. So this will likely be the same through the end of the year at least until we get a substantial snowfall. And then as far as the outlook goes, it's still slightly elevated, with really no accurate prediction on when we can see the return of the Santa Anas, if we are going to get them, and or when we get our first snowfall this year. No fires over the weekend on the mountain. A bunch of false alarms, of course, and but pretty quiet. Uh, Pretty quiet weekend as far as fires go. There were 8 crimes reported on the mountain over the weekend, ranging from thefts to narcotics possession, concealed weapons charges, graffiti, and a couple of assaults. Currently, there's just one single power outage reported on the mountain in the Twin Peaks area. 28 customers are without power as Edison Crews works to upgrade their distribution equipment until about 4:15 today. And then down here in the Forest Falls area, there's still 612 customers without power due to fire damage from the Eldorado Fire. Lastly, our COVID-19 updates. 2 new cases reported on the mountain, one in Big Bear City, one in Big Bear Lake. And nothing has changed on our risk tiers since Friday. Uh, the Bear Valley area is still substantial risk. The Rim community is still moderate risk. Overall, mountain communities as a whole, moderate risk, which is certainly better than the widespread risk from the county, the state, and the rest of the country. So again, this is Scott from Scott Shot Media. Have a safe day. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me or text me, and certainly follow along on our social media channels for updated and late breaking news. Have a wonderful day.